Hi guys, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to tackle this jungle of a mess of a portulacaria afra lilliput. This is one that I had bought in just a small tub of cuttings, and the cuttings were probably no bigger than like this branch right here. About maybe 3 or 4 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. I just kind of lose track of time, but it's been a few years, and I've styled some of the portulacaria, of the lilliputs, kept them smaller, but this one here I had just put in this big pot, this big plastic bonsai training pot, and just left it alone. Didn't do any cutting on it, no trimming on it, and just let it go. And you can see it is a kind of a mess. We've got some, if you can see these in the camera, but some of these branches are 1.5 feet long or more, just really just kind of drooping down everywhere. But my goal was I just wanted to let it go and get a thick trunk. So that was the goal. So I have no idea how today's going to go. This is really my, like I said, first time I've looked at this tree in any detail in a couple years, at least 2 or 3 years. So we're going to just get in here, probably prune off some of these branches. Like I said, I was just letting everything go to get the trunk thick, and I don't know if you can quite see in here yet, but the trunk is pretty thick. It's probably a good inch in diameter. You can see kind of where my finger is. It's thicker than my finger. So it's a really nice thick trunk on it. By far the thickest trunk on a lilliput that I've got. And just for comparison, this is a tree that I just pruned a little while ago, and these were planted at the same time. You see if I can show it in the camera here, but you can see this trunk is about the same width as my finger, and that trunk in there is probably double my finger. So it's at least twice as thick as this small tree. So that's kind of another tip, is if you want to get thick trunks on your trees a lot faster, just kind of let it go, and it's going to develop a lot quicker. It's not very fun because you're not really pruning on it and looking at it. And that's part of the fun of bonsai, is kind of pruning on them and shaping them. But like I said, I want to get this trunk nice and thick and then start styling it from there. So I'm gonna take off some of these branches, and like I said, I have no idea how it's going to go. I haven't really looked at it underneath here yet. So I'm going to cut off some of these branches, and the good thing is I'm going to have several new cuttings for lilliput, so which I don't really need more trees, but I'm not going to let these go to waste. I'll let some of them probably, but some of these thicker ones, like this branch here, it's already almost pencil thick. These up here are more than pencil thick. So once I get into it, I definitely will save some of these for cuttings. I'll probably end up with another half dozen trees from it, because I really like these lilliputs, so I just want to keep them going. So let me just kind of look in here and see what I've got. And hopefully, as this evolves here today during this video, as I prune some of this stuff back, see there's some dieback down there because it's just been shaded so long. Here's another branch that's kind of trailing along the ground. It's really at the bottom of the trunk. I'll go ahead and cut that off. I'll show you. You can see it just kind of shedded all its leaves. This was on the trunk, and this was all being shaded out, so it was just really trying to grow new leaves out on the tip of it, and it lost all these. There's a few of those in there, I can see. So I'm just going to start cleaning off some of these the dead branch that was on there. But like I said, they're just being shaded out. So there's another one. So thanks for being patient on this one, because like I said, I haven't really investigated this and not really sure what I'm going to end up with. So I'm going to take a little bit of time just kind of looking to see what I've got. So I don't want to cut off one of these branches that I might use, but I know some of these, like back here, I know I'm not going to use that, especially that long. So I'm just going to go ahead and see. One cutting. That's going to be a nice start to a new tree. We'll get it rooted down in there like that. It's already got a lot of branches, so that's going to be nice. Cut that off. Just kind of almost snapped a little bit, so we'll just go ahead and cut that off. Get it ready to root. I'm just cutting off these branches down here, and that'll go, this part will go down into the soil, and we'll get a new tree. It's another nice size cutting. But I'll let these dry out for a little bit, the rest of today or maybe tomorrow, and then, or if I drop them, and go ahead and drop them in soil, I just won't water them for a couple days until they kind of callus over a little bit. Let's see, that one's a pretty long. I don't need it that long. Some of these are just so rigid up here. Like these, they've kind of grown up from the top and then just kind of drooped over. That's one disadvantage of kind of letting it grow without any styling, because you really can't do a whole lot with those branches because they're so thick. You can't really bend them to use as a new apex unless you want the tree to kind of really do a gnarly looking bend at the top, but won't really know until I can get in there a little more and see what's going on. So this might look kind of bare when I get done with it. Kind of getting it back to a, almost starting over down to a bare structure, and then kind of regrow some branches. But we'll see. These are going to be too long, so I'll go ahead and get these cut off. I think now at this stage I'm just going to cut some of these long ones back. I can start seeing what's going on underneath here. keep track of some of these cuttings that I want to save so I don't pitch them. This is going to be a multi-year process, I can tell. I'm not going to have any branches down below too much at all. I think they've all died off. Not really growing down there because of they're all being shaded out. But it should start sprouting some new ones once the sun starts hitting it again. Okay. Cut this one off here. Back a little bit more. Yeah. Nice new tree start. Definitely has a sign of age already because all the branches are already drooping down like old trees do. Won't have to wire these to bend them down. I almost have to wire them to bend them back up. kind of like this gnarly looking branch there, but it's probably going to have to get some wire on that to get it. I'm not really sure what I'm doing for the front yet. Almost like this for the front, just because it's already leaning forward and it's got all this stuff towards the back without really having to chop everything off and just start with a bare trunk. Looks like I could wire some of these branches up. It's got a back branch back here. I could kind of turn this almost into a formal or informal upright to where, I just get these branches, a little more horizontal like that, and just let this be the trunk, and then just kind of develop a whole new top on it. But today, this isn't going to be one of those magic bonsai videos to where you start from a jungly mess to the end of the video. It's going to be a finished tree. It usually doesn't happen. Some people try to make you think it does. It's usually a multi-step and multi-month or multi-year process to get trees where you want them. This one's going to not look great today, but it's a step in the right direction, I think. A lot of branches here that are all kind of coming out of the same spot. I have to decide what I'm doing with this. I think one, I'll take some of these back shorter to where it's not so heavy. Because that's pretty thick. The branch is pretty thick, so I don't really need to leave a lot of that foliage on there to grow it thicker. See if I've got any flexibility in this, or I could, I'm thinking maybe I could bend it, wire it up, and get me a branch over there. I probably won't work this tree a whole lot more today. probably just get it cut back, like I said, get some more light on these lower branches. Grow some of these branches out possibly. That one's broke, so I'll just go ahead and take that off. Definitely looks like an old, gnarly, old age tree anyway, with all these droopy branches. Just kind of looking at the tree because it may, this could almost be a possible front. Just cutting some of these back so it'll cause it to start branching out. Give me some options. I think I am going to get some wire on this branch and at least get it held up. Something like that. I'm going to cut this one back. I think I'm just going to hook this one up here instead of wiring it. I think I'll just attach it to the top branch. Sometimes it's easier to do that. So just make a little hook like this. This branch up here is pretty sturdy. And then bring this forward. And up. Maybe a little bit too much. that. We'll just leave it like that. Maybe I can come forward a little bit. Yeah, I think that'll work. At least for now. At least give me a branch over there. At least get it held up so it's not drooping. And these will probably start reaching for the light a little more since they're they don't have as much weighing them down. We can stand some of these up. Could even bend some of these up to help with the apex. Go ahead and take that down. I want it to be a little squattier. Still a lot of work to do up in here. That's just right on top. Okay. Yes, it's not horrible. It's definitely got a ways to go, but I am happy with the size of that trunk there. Let me show you that other tree again so you can see the difference. So here's the other tree. You can see that trunk is a lot thicker just by letting it grow like that. So that's the key, is just if you want a big trunk, you know, just let the thing grow. But you know, you can argue, is it quicker this way? Because now I'm going to have to do a lot of work to develop the top. Or like that other one, the top's already pretty much developed, so another year or two, that trunk's just going to get thicker, and this one's going to take another year or two to develop the top. So I don't know. I don't know if you save any time, I guess. That's kind of the point I'm trying to make. You could argue either way, but sometimes I like starting to develop the trees even when the trunk's not nice and thick, just because I like the way the top looks, and then let the trunk just kind of come along for the ride and thicken up over time. But there's really no right or wrong way. It's just kind of what you like doing and what makes you happy working on your trees. That's the way I look at it. But for now, I think we're going to leave it just like that. Definitely a big difference from the from how it started. I'll try to show you a comparison up here, what it looked like at the start. And as we can see, look at some of the remnants down here. We definitely have a lot of cuttings and a lot of new material to work with. So I think that's gonna just about do it here. So let me give you a spin around what this thing looks like. So there's the front, I think, at least for now it is. There's the left side, there's the back, right side, and back to the front. And thanks for watching. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, just because I'll be providing updates on this tree, and then we can just kind of go along on its journey together. So we'll see you in the next video.